Okay, so first I am going to get the dough together here. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. So here I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and that is going into 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. And I am using my original recipe. I am adding a little extra things and weighing the ingredients and measurements, so it makes it a more accurate recipe. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm just going to give that a mix. Okay. Now I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of cold butter, and you could use a dough cutter to work the dough in. You can put it in your food processor to work the butter into the flour. I'm just going to kind of crumble it in my hands. And even if the butter starts to warm and lose the chill, I'm going to be setting this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to get cold again and set before baking. So now my flour mixture is the texture of like a crumbly sand. So what I'm going to do is in the center create a well. I'm going to add 1 cold large egg. Now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Whole milk works, and if you're not measuring your flour or weighing it, that is, then you may need more milk. And before I forget, because I'm going to be adding strawberry jam and cream to this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and that's actually clear vanilla extract, but use what you have, and it's optional. You don't have to add it. So I don't want to overwork my dough. So once it's sort of mixed in with the fork, I'm going to start folding it with my hands until the dough comes together. Okay, so I have combined everything, and as you can see, it's not really sticky wet, and that actually is a good thing. If the dough gets too wet, then you're not really going to end up with a good texture or end result. So I'm going to let this rest in the refrigerator for about 15-20 minutes, 30 minutes max will do. So my dough has rested for about, it's been about 15 minutes actually. So what I'm going to do, I will be cutting out my scones with a cutter, with a dough cutter that kind of has like the little scalloped or edges. You can use anything that you would maybe cut a biscuit with. And this one is right at 2 inches, maybe 2 inches in diameter, but any size works. So I'm going to dust my work surface with flour, get my dough, get your rolling pin, and I'm going to roll the dough out, and the thickness of the dough is going to be right at around 1.5 inches. You don't want this too thin. I think that'll work. So I'm going to take my cutter and dunk it right into my flour. And now I'm going to press straight down. No twisting. If you twist it, it'll pinch the edges and you won't get the height that you're looking for. I mean, you can twist it if you don't, that doesn't bother you, but, and just like that. Actually, it didn't come out with the, so just carefully take it off the surface and put it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I am actually using a Silpat. just like that. And now I'm just going to continue to do the rest. Okay, so with the leftover dough, it's really not going to roll out that great without overworking the dough, so I'm just going to form these by hand. They're not going to look beautiful, which is okay by me, but I'm just sort of squeezing the excess dough together, and I'm going to bake it as well. There we go, just like that. Okay, so here are all of my scones. And here are the odd-shaped ones with the excess dough that I had left over. No biggie. It's all gonna taste good. So I'm going to let this hang out in the refrigerator just to stay chilled until my oven is preheated. Okay, so these are nice and chilled. I took 1 large egg and just beat it until it was combined. And now I'm just going to do an egg wash on each scone. So these are ready for the oven. I'm going to be baking these in a preheated oven at 355 degrees Fahrenheit for somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. Cook time always varies. For example, my oven is not calibrated quite right, so I get like hot spots towards the back. Sometimes the temperature drops. So this is one of the reasons why this time I'm going to use 355 degrees Fahrenheit as opposed to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what I used in my last video for scones that I will be putting in the description below, the link if you want to check that out. Okay, into the oven. My scones are done. So these are completely cooled and I'm ready to actually dress these with cream, strawberry jam, and fresh strawberries. Okay, so before I add my jam and cream, I want to show you. Typically, I'm able to find clotted cream at my local Whole Foods, but all they had was double cream today. They were completely out of clotted cream, so I just went for it. But definitely you can make your own. It's just a 12-hour process in the oven. I didn't have time to do that. It's up to you. So let's see here. So what I'm going to do is carefully open this up. My family's going to love these. And I'm gonna do that, just smear it on. Now some strawberry jam. What I'm actually going to do is sandwich it in between fresh strawberries, so I'm adding jam to the other side, but you can add it right on top if you want. And this is how we're eating our scones today. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.